everybody on YouTube, welcome back. For those of you who are new, my name is Natalie and I haven't done a video in a very long time. I've mainly been focusing on kind of myself and my fitness levels and trying to get everything all sorted. So a few months back I did a review for Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard and that book left me in such a place. I did a post where I was discussing how to kind of get yourself out of a bad book blues or a good book coma, and in this circumstance it's where you kind of basically read a book and it was either really good and you can't move on through it because you miss the characters, you miss the story, you miss the plot and everything to do with it, or the complete opposite, you read the book, you don't understand and it's just put you off reading anything ever again. So Victoria Aveyard's Red Queen, which I'll leave the link in the description below, along with how to get out of the good book coma or bad book blues, leave that all below for you to access. The Red Queen series left me in just, that first book just left me in just something that I just didn't know. It like threw you really into this world in that last 2 chapters where basically you cannot trust anybody that is in this series, and you just have your guard up and all of a sudden everything you knew is just not as it is and as it should be, and I just couldn't. I tried reading another 7 books and all from like different things. I tried, Siri's going crazy, sorry. I tried, you know, rereading books that I used to love and I could not get past this series. So of course I went out and got the sequel. This is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard and today I'm going to be talking you through this book. So this follows on from where the Red Queen left off, and this one is a little bit more the X-Men sort of swing. So if you remember in my last review I said it's got this X-Men kind of feel to it because we have these new people that are like these red bloods and they have superpowers which are normally belonging to silvers. You're thrown back into that and they're being educated on how to control their powers and everything else, except this time we are recruiting, we're obviously going into war. It's kind of got more of the sort of Mockingjay kind of flow to it. So if you've watched the film or if you've read the books, it's the first half of the films. It's kind of got that build up, except this one's got a lot more action in it. We've got loads of fighting, we've got loads of like murders and death and killings, and we've got more new members of the community coming in, more red bloods that are like new bloods. We've got bonds coming between Mare and Cal, and we're still seeing that love, but I think Mare needs to know Cal's mine. Probably the first actual fictional male character that I've sort of been attracted to. I think it's probably because of the way I'm imagining him. He's kind of got this Jared Leto mixed with like a sort of gladiator like kind of vibe, and you're just like, ooh, with fire as well, and it's just, it gets, that man. Anyway, Mare kind of bothers me a little bit in this book at points because she's so contradicting herself and she's sort of still kind of using, I think she's sort of still using people in a sense to try and feel love and feel secure and everything else, when actually she just doesn't trust anybody, and it's just not even her own brother who is alive until the very end of this novel, and that made me sad as well because he was my second one. Yes. So that was that, and the book ends again with another cliffhanger, and now I have to wait like every other person who is reading this series to read the next book, and it's not going well. So I think as a sequel and follow-on, we're kind of getting that build-up of the war, we're getting this whole kind of, you know, we are starting to see Maven for who he really is, this horrible, nasty, manipulative murderous, heartless king, but then we're at the same time, Mare's kind of making up excuses because she's still in love with him. Battery died, battery died, battery died. And so as I was saying, and then we've got Mare, and she's sort of becoming this cat. I'm seeing kind of like a Katniss kind of Everdeen sort of, at the same time, full on other extreme, kind of heartless. She's almost turning into the Silver Queen. I can't remember her name, that's bad. But she's kind of making up excuses for Maven, saying that, oh, it's his mother that's, you know, making him like it. When actually it isn't. It's obviously just Maven as a person. And then she goes all personal and kills Maven's mother and the Silver Queen. And shows her beheaded, like, head on television for everyone to see. And I think that's just a little bit, like, disrespectful, and I don't know, I just didn't like that whole, the way her character's kind of developed into almost the same level as her, this Silver Queen, and then disrespecting the Silver Queen and having this hypocrisy. I just don't fully agree with Mare as a character necessarily, and I wouldn't really handle things like that more. But then again, I'm not some new blood with, you know, the power to control electricity who's on the run, so I wouldn't know what I'd do in that situation. But I just don't think I'd handle it in the same way. No, I'd probably send the mother's body back to him with a note, like he'd been doing with all those dead bodies, and leaving notes attached to them. And you know, she collects those notes as if she's like close to Maven or whatever, and closer by having those notes, and she doesn't throw them away, she doesn't show them to anybody else. It's a little bit bizarre. So obviously we've still got her being heartbroken by Maven, and then at the same time messing with his brother, which just still, I don't get it. Like, just have one. In terms of a sequel follow-on, I think it was good. It wasn't as, I didn't feel it was as good as Red Queen. I think it's because obviously we know Maven for who he is now. There wasn't really much of a twist or anything, but in terms of the build-up towards the war, in terms of, you know, leaving it on a cliffhanger and needing to know what happens in the rest of the novel, needing to know whether this world changes, Maven gets off the throne and we have a new blood king or queen or things like that. I think that Victoria's left it in a really good place. The character development is interesting of all characters, because we have Cal, who seems to be becoming more and more like a tutor and kind of more all about this equal community. And then we have Mare, who's kind of becoming a little bit vengeful, and you know, we have a nice little mix of characters which I quite like, and I think it's a really good novel. I think it is a good sequel, and just if you're into the whole kind of X-Men meets Divergent meets Hunger Games sort of feel, then this series is probably a really good series for you to get into. So this is Glass Sword, this was the sequel. I give it probably a, I still really enjoyed the book. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, which, you know, I think, again, it is one of those kind of more, there is action in it, but it's more chatty. It's like the kind of Order of the Phoenix in the Harry Potter series kind of feel to it, where we've got loads of meetings and meetings about meetings that we had. But we do have the action, we do have the plot moving forward, we do have war, we do have new powers that we haven't seen before. You know, we've got people that can defy gravity and all sorts of different things. So I really did enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. That was just a quick review, and I shall see you all soon. Bye!